Hello everybody, this is Kiana Mayfield from LibraLunaCenter.com and welcome to your weekly forecast for the week of July 10th through the 16th of 2017. We are just coming off a full moon in Capricorn conjuncting Pluto, and to tell you the truth, after all that's been going down this past week, there's not a lot going on until the end of this week, which is when we'll be having the last quarter square of the moon in Aries. But before we get to that point, from July 10th through the 11th, on Monday through Tuesday, we have the moon in Aquarius. And with the moon in Aquarius, there's not much going on at this point. The moon will oppose Mercury, which will be, kind of reflecting on where we are emotionally expressing our heart, where we have been emotionally expressing our heart and opening up and devoting ourselves to the fire and the flame within, right? The expression of ourselves. Now we can combine it with logic, with the bigger picture, with the broader landscape, playing with multiple different ideas, connecting with the world again, right? And we will have a finger of God forming, a yod between Mercury in Leo, as it is in sextile to Jupiter in Libra, and both of these planets are in quincunx to Neptune retrograde. And this will be a theme that will be playing out all week, this yod, right? So the beginning of the week is a very chill time compared to this past weekend, right? This past week, with the intense energy and passion that has been building up, right, over the past few days. Now we can kind of detach ourselves from the situation and kind of go off on our own to experiment, right? To experiment with the new information we've cultivated from this full moon, right? And so, with this yod forming, this is about us learning as we are expressing our heart, right? As we are opening up our heart chakra, this work, this process is allowing us to balance the scales, right? With Jupiter in Libra, it is bringing the balance back to where there has been imbalance, where there has been a sense of injustice, unfairness, inequality, where the scales have been tipped on one side of the other, right? Now we are, as we come back to our own center, we're bringing it to the broader picture between all of our relationships, right? And the expression of what we feel is the key to bringing a greater degree of love into the equation, right? Of connection, of communication, right? And in quincunx to Neptune, this is the uncovering of our subconscious truths, right? Our subconscious hopes and our fears and what has been beyond the veil, right? The expression of what we feel is what opens the portal to this interdimensional form of awareness, right? Where perhaps we did not see before, now we are seeing in a new way based on the fact that we are working with our heart chakra, right? And so from July 12th or the 14th, there's this big gap in the week, right, where there's not much going on from Wednesday through Friday. This is just the progression of the energy that is at the beginning of the week. So the moon will move into Pisces and it will conjunct Neptune on the 14th, which is highlighting the yod, right? And then we have, as the moon moves through Pisces, it will conjunct Chiron retrograde on the 14th, and it will trine over to the Sun and Mars in Cancer. And also, the Sun in Cancer will be in quincunx to Saturn retrograde. So this is a lot of healing. This is a lot of not just healing, but emotional understanding, right? Because the truth has come out, right? The truth came out during the full moon. And this truth aligned us to a certain direction, right? A certain commitment we all made in our lives about the direction we're taking from here on out, right? But in this overall direction, and I forgot, on Monday, the sun will be exactly in opposition to Pluto. So it's just the final facing of whatever happened during the full moon, right? It's nothing to be too anxious about, but this intense energy is continuing in a sense that we're still working with the full moon. It's like it's not really gone, you know? We're still emotionally processing what has been going on, right? And so with the sun in quincunx to Saturn, this is just about us making emotional adjustments, right? Emotional adjustments to be able to take care of ourselves on the journey we're taking, right? On the path we're leading. And to not only take care of ourselves, but to take care of the people we love, right? But mostly ourselves. On the particular journey we are choosing, right? Because while the vision is there, while the plan is there, while the commitment is there, right? It's like, okay, well, I need to come to this place where I'm okay within myself, right? Sun in Cancer is still going through this process of emotionally releasing the past, emotionally coming to terms with the past, to coming to terms with the need to transmute what has occurred in the past and allow it to bridge into the future, right? But the future won't set off until we get to the new moon in Leo. And so as we are in this very still place in the universe this week, we get to the weekend, right? From July 15th through the 16th, and particularly the 16th, we have the moon moving into Aries, right? And Mars will be beginning to square Uranus. Mars in Cancer are beginning to square Uranus in Aries, right? This aspect won't be exact until Monday, but you will definitely feel it, right? It's like the needing to break out. And at the same time as this is occurring, on Sunday, on the 16th, we have the last quarter square of the moon, as the moon is in conjunction to Uranus in Aries, right? And it will be squaring over to the sun and Mars in Cancer. And so if you look at this, there is a mutual reception going on, right? Because we have the moon, Cancer's ruler, in Aries, and we have Mars, Aries ruler, in Cancer, right? And these two aspects are making a square to each other. On the same day, we have Mercury in Leo and quincunx to Pluto. And we have Venus beginning to square Neptune retrograde and trine over to Jupiter. And the moon in Aries, as it does form its last quarter square, it will be making a grand fire trine, right? So this is the energy getting very emotionally intense again, right? After our break period throughout most of this week. And as I said in my last reading, in the full moon reading, this last quarter square is about us breaking out of prison, right? It's us getting the key to break out of our prison. While we have emotionally confronted our last sentence, right? Emotionally confronted our deepest truths, our subconscious, our shadow, our desires, right? This is basically the getting out of jail card, right? But it's like, you know, as you are being released, right? As you are being released into this new world and you're all excited and it's like an adrenaline rush, right? It's like, oh my God, I have so many things to do, so many people to contact. I have so many, I have, you know, a whole new life to cultivate, right? Mars squaring Uranus is a very not only unpredictable and excitable, but also it can be reckless. It can be, but it's only reckless because Mars is in Cancer right now, right? And Uranus in Aries is requiring us to take these big, bold leaps of courage, right? In our self-expression and who we are. But with Mars in Cancer, this is not the time to jump the gun, right? This is not the time to put the pedal to the metal, right? When someone gets out of jail, they don't immediately just blend back right into the environment, you know, and start their whole new life, right? There's this period of time where they must become emotionally adjusted to their new environment, right? To how the world has changed while they have been in the cell, while they have been locked away, while they have been in the shadow, right? And so when a person comes directly out of the shadow into the light, your eyes need to adjust. And this last square is about our eyes adjusting to the light, right? As we do step into this world, we don't want to begin pressing, right? Beginning to press on the go button until the new moon in Leo, because this is when not only Mars will come out of Cancer and into Leo, where in Cancer it is in its fall position, right? So it is, I don't like the word weakest, but it is at its softest, right? It's at its most gentlest, and it's most and it's in the position where it likes to be inwards, right? Its direction is inwards versus the traditional association we have with Mars, which is in the outer world, right? This is not the time to project your desires and go out into the world to accomplish some huge, gigantic task, right? When Mars comes into Leo next week, we'll be ready to go. And not only Mars, but the sun and the moon in Leo, right? We want to wait until this period before we get too emotionally excited, because with this Cancer energy right now, we have the risk of exciting ourselves to the point of burnout. And we're not ready to be burnt out yet, because this new self is just beginning to culminate, right? We had the reset, we had the explosion, the volcanic eruption with the full moon in Capricorn, coming to terms with our own shadow, right? Coming to terms with the deepest layers of ourselves. But with this uncovering, we don't just want to run amok with it like we have in the past, right? But you will be very, very tempted to with the last quarter square of the moon in Aries. So just watch out for the weekend. Don't get into any major into anything that risks burnout for you, right? And only you know what that is, because it's personal to everyone. Some people can handle a lot more energy than others. But you will be tempted on the weekend, and especially Sunday on the 16th, to go full throttle. And I just encourage you as an astrologer to just wait it out until next weekend, because this will be when we are emotionally prepared for what's to come on the other side of this big gigantic leap we're all preparing to make, right? So this is basically the week, right? This is very short horoscope. I think this is the shortest one I've ever done. 15 minutes long, right? But there's not much going on except for this weekend, because people can get into a lot of not only altercations but accidents. So just be mindful of the energy and use it to break out from the inside, right? To come to some emotional breakthrough. Because with Mars and Cancer and the Moon and Aries, this is the time, right? To claim our own sense of independence, to claim our own power again, right? But before we take the step to stake our claim in the world, before we take the step to fly to the moon, right? Just get comfortable with it all. Just get comfortable with being here, if that makes sense. So I hope you all have a wonderful week. This weekend I will be traveling down to San Diego. So if I have any people watching this video who are in San Diego, you can contact me, and I look forward to meeting with all of you, right? I love I love Southern California, and I'm hoping to move back down there sometime, perhaps next year. But I'd love to have a hangout sometime anywhere near the beach, right? To catch up on astrology and metaphysics and all of that. So if you're interested, just let me know, contact me, and we'll see what we can do. So I hope you all have a wonderful week, and I'll see you all next time.